I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo. Digital media.
Come on!
I'm a hippo.
Broadcast Hippo. Digital media. What is up, everybody? The show is powered by cannabis in some way or another, either a TBD form or CBD form or THC form or
TBD, to be determined.
Yes, the to be determined form. Whether it's a pre-roll, a cartridge, an edible, a concentrate, a topical, paraphernalia. We got it all at Teebs of Adrian.
All the things that used to get you arrested.
Yes, it's so silly. We really need to just be adults about this and say, look, man, this is there's too many good people that smoke. And it's like, why would you want to get them caught up in the legal system for something this stupid? It's ridiculous.
Why should they be happy?
Because it was all.
Why should they be happy? Right.
It was all geared towards minorities, and it wasn't until white people started smoking weed that it was cool. Before, it was just something that you could throw minorities in jail for.
So true. That's so true.
No, what it was is white people always smoked. It was whenever they started like arresting us for it. That's when we're like, whoa, guys.
Then it's a crisis. When you're arresting the minority.
Reevaluate this whole drug war thing.
So true. So stupid. Teebs.green, Teebs of Adrian. Make sure you get your they have a good, gooder, and goodest weed. So thank you, Georgia. So make sure you go over there and check them out. They're amazing. Sure you're
not smoking right now, Georgia?
That's a little callback.
I love to see sibling fighting this morning. It's good. Let's get the show started.
And now, our feature presentation.
This is Ed McMahon. And now, here's Andrew.
I said Andrew Z. In the morning, it's time to wake up. Andrew Z. In the morning, yeah.
Come on. What up, everybody? Welcome to the show. We're a little bit light today. I don't see no Donna P, no Ashley P, no Gina, but we do have Demetrius Nicodemus, Chris Tiefel, producer Georgia. I'm Andrew Z. It is Wednesday, April 7th, 2021 of the year of our Lord. Let's get the show started.
Andrew Z. In the morning.
Woo! Got to say good morning to my mom. She says another 80-degree day. Can't get any better than this. Georgia said, what, about Georgia or what?
No. Not. What? I mean, I agree with Georgia as far as dealing with us three, but man, there's a tipping point on this weather, and it is 77 degrees. 77 degrees and lower is comfortable.
It's very
anything. Specific. Yes, I'm very specific. People need to know because once it hits 78, then you start sweating, and then shit like
I was starting to sweat at 68. Speak for yourself.
Like I literally was like considering. I was like, I'm not putting in my air conditioners. I'm not doing that. Right. And that was the biggest fucking mistake of my life. I felt like I was in some kind of fucking African savannah movie surrounded by mosquito netting. It was horrible. Oh,
yeah, we didn't even open our windows last night. We should have done that, but I don't know. We just didn't.
Did you guys turn the AC on?
No, we're not. I'm not turning the AC. What?
God,
is it time?
You didn't open a window?
Dude, it was 40 degrees like 3 days ago. There's no way I'm turning the AC on.
He's got like 10 women that live in his house. There's no way he's going to have any actual control over that AC. Everyone's going to be vying for different temperatures.
Oh, so basically the AC was already on. He just didn't know. Probably because I will tell you, it was, man, I put my sweaters away. I busted out my spring clothes and washed all of those. I got shorts and stuff in my closet now. I got a 60-pound tote full of sweaters that I got to take down in the basement.
I know. But it's going to be a beautiful day today. It's already 60 degrees. Georgia said outside.
Mm-hmm.
Get out and enjoy it. I went to dinner last night. A friend of my mom's, one of her best friend, Alicia, from grade school. Like, she's known her for like 60 years or something.
Like Little House on the Prairie school.
Yeah.
Is this like process of elimination best friend where like she's just the only one left?
Right. That was really mean.
I know. What the fuck, Chris?
I love you, Mama Zepeda.
Zepeda.
You know, you're like, every time you say mean shit, you lose an inch off your penis, right? You know that. You're
that
like,
explains a lot.
That's
you're
why
like reverse Pinocchio.
That's why he's got an innie. That's why he's got an innie now.
Yeah. Your dick looks like a belly button.
Stick a straw up in there to get it out, you know.
We went to a nice little local restaurant, Poco Piatti, over at Levis Commons, and right across from where Memories.
Why would you do that? Why would you do that?
Because he likes eating small portions for a lot of money.
Right. I don't know why. But we had a good time last night. It was good. I have a couple things, and I feel a bit hypocritical. Number one, I always say local, like we ate local last night, and we had the choice, and we want. I always, whenever they're given the choice, I always eat local. Now on Easter Sunday, we ended up eating at Applebee's because there just wasn't a lot open. We went by a place. I mean, we went to like by two places. They were closed, and we knew that Applebee's, Chili's, which I think are the same restaurant. Applebee's and Chili's are. What is that face for? What
were you doing eating anywhere but at home on Easter?
We were out. We took the kids to the park and stuff, and we were out, and we didn't cook.
It's your fault that those poor employees couldn't be at home spending time with their family and Jesus.
What employees? Oh, Applebee's.
Why would you
what
go
employees?
To chill? You know, this is the time to gather your family around, have some ham, make some deviled eggs. You sit around, you talk about how crappy Peeps are, and then like you're picking up like that fake plastic grass off your carpet for like days. This is the time for that. You don't go to Applebee's to celebrate the risen Jesus. You're don't.
Right. We had an Easter fail, and I didn't realize it until you pointed it out right now. That's ridiculous. We didn't have any ham. We didn't have any potato salad. We didn't have any deviled eggs. We didn't have any rolls. We didn't have any pie. We didn't have an Easter egg hunt. I know, what a fail.
But you had some baby back ribs apparently.
I did have them.
Because nothing says Easter like slow cooked baby back ribs. On the third day, they were ready.
I don't know why. God, we're such a failure. Thank you for pointing that out to me. So
anything we can do to help.
Anyway, I'm a local. I try to support local whenever I can. But the one place that I am very hypocritical is when it comes to grocery shopping. Now, here's the only reason. I shop at this goddamn Walmart's, which are the worst. For customer service, they are the absolute worst. The reason I shop there is because my damn bank is there. So unless I'm going to make two trips, because I do my banking inside the Walmart, and then while I'm there, I just get stuff I get stuff that I need. So
I mean, how are you counting two trips? Are you counting two trips away from home, or are you counting going to more than one place while you're out?
More than one grocery store. Like if I can get butter here, well, then I'm not going to get back in my car, go to another store across the street, get out of my car just to go get butter. I'm in a store, so I'm going to go to the store where I'm at. But here's my point. So anyway, so it's very hypocritical. I know it, and I don't like doing it, but I do it almost every day. So I'm in Walmart, and you know how one side is grocery and one side is I don't know, everything.
However the hell you would describe the rest of the store.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and then you try to, I think they have signs now, but at one point I used to try to guess, right, is this the Walmart that has the grocery on the right or the left? Because I don't want to go to the wrong side and then walk all the way across.
They have signs above the door. The entrance
Now-
have one.
They didn't used to.
They have
They
one entrance
always-
that says
They didn't-
grocery.
They didn't used to, Chris.
No,
Oh.
no, they didn't use. You had to remember the layout of each store. But
And
now,
then here's the crazy thing. For like the longest time, Andrew, they were like set up the exact same way. Like you could walk into any Walmart in any country or like any state, and it would be like, all right, groceries are on the right, life needs are on the left,
yes.
and you could walk in. And then when you walk into a Walmart that's set up the exact opposite way, your world crumbles around you.
I know. Well, and
Like,
here,
is this a European Walmart? What is going on?
well, here's another way that means the same thing. D is that this is how lazy I am as an American. Is I try to stay in the grocery lane. Like so whenever whenever I have to get something that's on the other side that's out of the grocery lane, I feel sad. I feel like, oh God, I have to go to the other side too. Like let's say it's hand soap. Like they don't keep hand soap in the space. They keep it over in pharmacy. You know, they don't have aspirin in the space. So or last night I needed a funnel. Like they don't keep funnels in the grocery. I'm like, I gotta go.
What? They keep it in automotive.
What's that?
They keep it in automotive.
I guess I could screw automotive, but that's how lazy I am. It just having to get out of the lane, the grocery lane, is just
This is the most American problem I have ever heard. I
Can
have
you
to put in
imagine?
extra steps.
Can you imagine how like angry the Andersons is? They're like, man, we tried to do that shit. We had tires and groceries, but nobody wanted to come shop here. That's some bullshit. Like, you shouldn't be able to get 4 tires, a dozen eggs, and a fucking fish at the same fucking place. It shouldn't
That's
be
Costco,
a thing.
baby.
I know. I love that.
I can go to Costco. I can get groceries. I can buy a TV. I can buy tires. Hell, I can even buy a new car and never leave the building.
Yeah, but it's true. But Costco doesn't have everything. Like you can't go grocery shopping at Costco because there's too much shit they don't.
Sounds like a challenge.
Costco's like the extra store. It's like if it's a Saturday and you're going to take the extra trip, then you need to go to like here's if you're a dedicated shopper, you go to Aldi, you go to Costco,
Never been.
and then you go to a regular store for everything else that the Aldi and Costco didn't have. But that's if you have
see, Costco does have everything. It's just the size of your fist. Like it's huge. Like you can get mayo, but it's going to be enough mayo to last you the whole freaking year.
Yeah, like Costco's only a grocery store if you're like the Duggars, you know, like that. Then
the
it
Kardashians.
then it makes sense because you have to have a 50-gallon barrel of mayo because somebody's going to put it on their ass, somebody's going to put it on a sandwich, and then somebody's going to fake a video with it. So, you know, but like honestly, it's so funny that you bitch about walking around the grocery store because like when I go to the grocery store, I'm not allowed to go grocery shopping by myself, but because I just put shit in the cart if we need it. I don't really look at it. And frankly, some products are better name brand than store brand. Right. But like when Carol
he sees
look
that
at
great
me,
value logo, he's like, we got it.
Anyway, but milk, because I figure there's no such thing as a great value cow. Like that's the only thing I will fuck around with. Like, but Carol will look at me and like we'll know we're just going to the grocery store. But if we have time to kill, she'll go, "Can we walk around?" And I'm like, "Hey, baby, yeah, it's Walmart. Let's just walk around and see what they got." You know, sometimes you walk out with a rug. Sometimes you walk out with a rug and and a little hibachi grill. Like
I was at Costco one time, and just from the stupid people that the people that have that do the what are they called? Not as display demonstrations. People that do the demonstrations. I bought a $400 Blendtec blender. This is many years ago. It still works.
I used to do the sample thing for a salsa company. I never once had anyone actually buy the salsa after trying it.
Well, no, I wouldn't buy salsa from you.
But Chris, how many times do people talk to themselves out loud? Oh, I think I might try this, and then just walk away and never do it because they feel guilty, like they're taking the sample.
Yeah.
Does that happen?
By the way, let's just be a lesson to everyone. The sample person doesn't care. They're getting paid by the hour, not by the amount of product that they put out. If you come up and you take a thing, you don't have to fake a conversation about how interesting the product is.
Yes.
And then you don't have to do what my brother and I used to do, where we'd like change our outfit somewhere down an aisle and come back and get more. You don't have to do that. We will gladly give you more.
Wait, so besides selling salsa, you also sold knives, Chris? Your sister says?
I tried that for a while, but it was also right when I broke my leg in the middle of Nebraska in winter. So it did not exactly work out.
Would you sell those Cutco knives? Is that what you sold?
Exactly. But now they sell them online, the bastards.
Can I ask what makes breaking your leg in the middle of Nebraska different than breaking your leg in the middle of Ohio?
It was where I lived at the time, and it was the middle of winter, so I had a broken leg and crutches.
Okay. Well, that's a shitty job. You should have never have gotten that job.
I was a dumb college kid.
My buddy went to Costco yesterday and got his vaccination, but unfortunately they sold it in 6-packs, so he had to get 6 of them. All right, Natasha was talking about Walmart. She says everything is there. That's why any of us shop there, because the place truly sucks. It's a mess. The employees are shit, and the lines. I agree. Georgia says she misses the Andersons. Josh says if you guys
miss them prices though.
Yeah, Josh says if you guys get some time today, go on YouTube and look up 2 Chainz Most Expensive. I think I watched
love that show. 20
episodes yesterday of him trying the world's most expensive ice cream and shit.
Yeah, dude. The show is called The Most Expensivest, and it is the best. 2 Chainz is the shit. I mean, I never personally. I would hang out with him because he is just he will look at you and he's like, this is a $30,000 ice cube, and somebody will look at him and truly believe that it's a 30. He's like, why? And they're like, because it comes from an iceberg. Well, shut the fuck. Like, for real, the shit that rich people will buy is the craziest thing I have ever fucking seen. I saw him drive around a bulletproof fucking car. Bulletproof for regular
resistant.
Oh no. Well, real quick, I have a couple things. Josh says, can you please, Chris, write something on that whiteboard, because it drives him crazy every day that it's just sitting there blank. Just write. I don't care what you want to write, whatever you're feeling that day, a quote. You got to write it big though, but please write something on the whiteboard before you start in the morning, because it's driving Josh crazy that it's just sitting there empty.
That makes me feel a lot better.
It means you accomplished everything for the day already?
I'm done. I can go home. I can go to bed.
I also got to say what's up to my my lifelong buddy, Tony Smalley. Tony is listening in Hawaii right now. That's where he lives, in paradise. And he'll always text
2 a.m.
Yeah, out of something like that. I don't know, what time is it, Tony. I know. Why are you awake? So, and Tony, here's the funny thing: is it's not really funny, but he'll text me, and he'll be like in the middle of winter here, like in December, he'll be like, Andrew, I had to put a sweater on. It got down to 72 today. I'm like, oh, you asshole.
Oh yeah,
He's that guy.
Then I send him back a picture of my Earth not erupting hot lava, and I go, "Wow, look at this!"
Step on
I
lava.
never had to carry volcano insurance.
My lawn's not on fire today. Look, if there's a tragedy, I can drive to another state. Where you gonna paddle to?
Paddle to. It's 1 a.m. out there in Hawaii, but I would rather live in. I'd rather deal with volcanoes any day than the cold weather.
That's true.
Get older, I hate the cold weather. I mean, just hate it more and more as I get older. I noticed. It sucks. But anyway, we don't have to worry about that today. We don't need to talk about it. It's going to be 80 degrees today. When
I tell that bitch, please raise up off these NUTs. No, nothing.
I just want to live there for the Samoan men.
They don't all look like The Rock. Most of them look like Big Punisher
or Jason Momoa.
Yeah, everybody. Those are the exception Samoans. Everybody needs to understand that. That is not. Most of them look like Danny Trujillo.
Tony says, "We fly, biatch." Dude is always in. He loves to go to Vegas. I'm like, I want to go to Vegas. I think we're gonna meet him out there. You should come. We should do we tried a listener trip to Cancun and no one wanted to do it. We should try one, and you guys didn't want to do it. I don't even know what the listeners. We didn't throw it out there, but we should try one.
Dog the Bounty Hunter. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, Dog the Bounty Hunter.
He lives in Hawaii too.
So yesterday, having so many girls in the house, you have to really strategize when you're going to use the bathroom or take a shower. And yesterday I missed that opportunity. I didn't know two of the girls had snuck into one of the bathrooms, and we have a hot water issue sometimes when a lot of people take shower. So I'm in the shower, and have you ever been to the point where you're getting the hot water and then it starts to get a little warmer, so you turn a little hotter, and then it's good for a couple minutes, and it starts to get a little warm instead of hot, so you turn a little more, and then that point where you get to the end of the hot, like you can't turn it anymore, and you're okay. You're like, it's okay, all right. Oh, it's hot now. I can finish it, and then all of a sudden it starts to get less warm and less warm and less warm and colder, and then you start to freak out because I'm like, oh my god, there's stuff I haven't done. My routine I haven't done in here, and the water is starting to get cold. So the panic and the fear that was over my body yesterday as the water continued to get colder and colder, and I'm trying to get all my shit done. And
how many bathrooms do you have?
We have 1, 2, 3, I think 3
full bathrooms.
2 full and 1 part.
Dude, that is that was the whitest response ever. Even having to look up into the back of your brain to count the bathrooms where you were like, let's see. You know what regular people do? I got 1.5. That it takes no time. Some of them are like, you know what? I got 1 bathroom and we piss in the sink when it gets real bad.
Yeah, I would. We have 2.5. Why, Chris? Why? What?
Well, at first I thought your complaint was going to be about like a mess or something like that. Without the hot water, you can't really do much about it, no matter how many bathrooms you have. I was like, don't you have like just a parent's designated bathroom? Like, this is our bathroom. You do not.
No, we have one. We have one in our room, but they still invade it, and take shit out of there. But yes, we do have an adult bathroom for sure. But yeah, it doesn't insulate you. Like, I wish we had our own water heater. Because we're not insulated from the losing of the hot water, unfortunately.
Make that happen. You're the homeowner.
I have my own water heater just for our bathroom. Colleen would never get out of the bathtub. Then it'd be ridiculous.
All right, tank.
I know. Does anyone else have anything? You guys got anything? D, go ahead.
And it's just a real quick shout out, and it is to Connor, who has been home since Friday, but every morning, every morning all right. Saturday, he woke up at 4:30. He woke up at 4:15 so he could go to the gym with me at 4:30.
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, Sunday, he woke up at 4:30, 4:15 so he could go to the gym with me. Monday, he went to the gym with me.
Mm.
Yesterday, he went to the gym with me. This morning, woke up at 4:15. We were at the gym at 4:40. And this kid, like, he didn't bitch, he didn't complain. It has been like, and I told him, I said, the one thing that will always get you through life and is it's not being smart. It's and smart helps.
Mm-hmm.
Being lucky helps, but you have to be willing to put in work that most people wouldn't be willing to do.
Mm.
And that is the thing that he has shown me, is that he is willing to. He's 14. All this boy does is masturbate and sleep. So, like, let's just. I give him huge props. He put in He put in hard work this morning for 45 minutes straight, and he is going to be hurting. But goddamn it, he woke up at 4:15, and he has done it every day.
Are you at the age, D, where it sounds like you are? Or, I mean, I'm sorry, is he at the age where you I think there's a point where your kid either, well, they don't need you anymore, I think, but at the point where, like, you become, like, it transitions into a friend over you having to be the parent. Like, they're responsible enough where you don't have to bitch at them, and they do their own shit.
You know,
and then you're just more of a friend. You like, it's a buddy you get to hang out with. I'm not there yet. I would like to get there. I don't know if I am going to get there because the kids don't they don't talk to me like I think that I don't know, there's things that they still keep from me, like I'm a parent. So I don't know with my girls if I'll ever get there. But it sounds like you're there with your son.
You know what? I would probably put this relationship probably in a light of, like, still 75% parent, 25% friend. I'm like Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know, like, you're going to see me struck down by my arch enemy, and then you're going to go after him. And that's what I need. But so, like, I'm more like, I never wanted to push anything on them. You know, that was never, if you don't like golfing, we're not going to go golfing. I'm not going to buy you clubs and make you golf. I wasn't going to make him go to the gym. He came to me with that. And so, like, we have candid conversations. And I think a lot of that is because I've never been somebody with him that has been like, hey, it's do as I say, because I'm so fucking perfect. And, like, he sees my imperfections. We have candid conversations about mistakes that I've made in my past and that kind of thing. And so he's just comfortable talking to me.
It's interesting. Ted Tiefel, who's Georgia and Chris's dad, says,
"Careful, old man."
we're still waiting for Georgia to get to that point, and then Georgia says, "Careful, old man." But here's the thing: I wonder if it's different if it's opposite sex parents. Like, do you ever get to that point where you're friends? You know what I mean? Because I think you're like I said, I don't picture that ever getting to that point with my kids, because the girls, like, they don't tell me anything. Like, we don't have deep conversations.
Because they're not deep right now.
No, you're not having deep.
I'm not having deep conversations with this kid. I mean, I will say he and I take that back. I am, like, he and I have talked about politics today, George Floyd, but he's had more questions than opinions, and Donald, and he has a very strong stance on his opinion of Donald Trump. Which is, which drives his mom crazy, but makes me happy. And because honestly, it makes me sad that I could have anyway. So, but he's growing, and I think watching that is like the intellectual part is really the fun part, and watching him grow and become a critical thinker and have opinions on what he thinks is right and wrong, and that's kind of like the cool part right now.
Like, it's almost like, for me, the girls are I don't know, scared of me, but like, they wouldn't have conversation like that with me. I don't know. No one wants to tell me anything. Like they'll tell.
Have a
They'll tell
podcast.
me, they'll tell. What's that?
You just right now. This is an example of why they won't talk to you.
Yeah,
right here.
Like you have brought up this situation, and they've been talking about it, and they're like, you know what? I'd really like to talk to Dad, but he can't seem to keep his fucking mouth shut.
Right. This portion of the show brought to you in part by Teebs of Adrian. Teebs.green. Oh, they got a big special going on too for as 420 is coming up. If you go to their, you should like them on Facebook, you guys. If you get a chance, like Teebs.
I feel like that's how the FBI puts you on a list.
they see
people not to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. They're not doing anything. They're just enjoying life, man. Enjoy all of life's cares. It's a better life if you're having a little gummy or having a little brownie or having a little toke or a little puff or just you're just life is better. So if you partake in, you don't have to partake in it. I don't partake in it, but everyone else around me does. So, and I know that they are definitely much calmer and much better when they have the stuff. So get it from Teebs of Adrian, Teebs.green. They support the show. They support us. They're good friends. They're great people up there. They have a great staff in Adrian. So check them out. Also, this portion of the show brought to you in part by Lufka All Natural. They have all natural skincare products and cleaning products as well, free of harsh chemicals. They use only ingredients that you can trust and that will never harm the planet. So if you they have stuff for like cleaning your counters and all that, and it's not like it's not stuff that will give you a third eye to your unborn.
I'm sorry, but if the stuff I'm using to clean my kitchen isn't like dangerous to me and small animals, and I don't think it's actually cleaning.
Well, see, go check out Lufka, and then let them change your mind. Lufka in Perrysburg in the Country Charm Shops in Perrysburg, and they will they'll change your mind, Mr. Tiefel. They will change your mind. All right, couple things. Lori Hartman. See, Lori's same thing. I think it's an opposite sex thing because she says dad was and still is on a need to know basis, which is exactly how I feel. Like I'm the last one to know. Like it comes to a point where they have to tell me. It's not where we can have a discussion about stuff. They just and when I tell them, when I try to give them sage advice, they look at me like I'm crazy. It's just like, come on. They don't want to talk about it. They don't nothing. I get nothing out of them.
Because here's the thing: nobody really appreciates experience.
Nope.
Like they assume because you're talking like you don't know. Like when I talk, like sometimes even to my wife. And because there's a 12-year difference between her and I, depending on when our birthdays fall. Sometimes it's 11, sometimes it's 12. But but when I talk to her and she's like, she's like, God, why do you talk like you sometimes like you know everything? And it's like, it's not like I know everything, but I've experienced a lot of stuff, and I can tell you based on my experience, how these things work out. And I don't want it to sound condescending. I don't mean it to sound, like I know more than you or because that's not my goal, because coming off like that makes people not want to fucking listen to you.
Right.
So
and it makes you not want to have conversations with that person because they're like, oh, here we go.
Right.
So Andrew, be honest. How many times have you chased your daughters around the house trying to have a conversation with them going, I usually get paid for these words. You should sit down and listen.
Yeah, you should be listening.
You should give them a lecture and then slide a bill under their door. I use approximately 250 words at $10 a word.
Oh no, I know I get the same thing. Colleen's not as bad. I think she knows I know what I'm talking about for the most part. So she listens, because here's the thing. If I get a sense that people are only not listening to me, or I think that's where the whole I get paid for my words comes from. I'll stop talking in the middle. I'll just stop. If I see you're not listening or not engaging, or just appeasing me, then I'll stop talking because I don't have the time because I get paid for my words. I'm not going to wait for you. If you're not going to listen to them, well, then we don't need to have this conversation.
Yeah, if you don't want to see the path, I can just point you to the forest.
Absolutely. Tell them, D. All right. A couple things that I want to talk about. A couple signs that life is getting back to normal. At Disney World, smiles won't be hidden for much longer. They're saying starting Thursday, visitors to the theme park resort will be able to remove their masks temporarily for outdoor photos. The company said on its website that tweaks the requirement for all workers and visitors age 2 and up to wear their masks except when they are actively eating or drinking, provided they are socially distanced and not moving around. The mask mandate includes those who already have been vaccinated. So now you'll at least be able to take your mask off for a photo.
Okay. So here's my question then, since that kind of like falls into this thing that I've been wondering about. What is all this pushback about a vaccine passport? Or
I've ignored the controversy because I consider it just a Fox News thing. What is the controversy? So I really haven't even read up on it. What's the controversy?
Well, the whole thing is they're saying, well, especially in like Texas,
in Florida,
and Florida, is that American citizens should not be forced to provide information to be allowed in businesses or to be allowed to participate in organizations or those kind of things by providing personal information such as whether or not you've been vaccinated. So it is every American citizen's right to not tell you whether or not they've been vaccinated.
It's
every organization and business's right to say, no, sorry.
That it is a fake. It's a Fox News right-wing crazy controversy because people already know so much information just from your phone, just from you carrying your phone around. They know way more information than a vaccine passport would ever give them. We're past the point of almost of having I don't know.
So you don't feel like that's an intrusion into somebody's personal medical?
I see the need for international travel, but I personally don't think it should be needed for everyday life.
Well, but if you're
in your own country.
But I think what they're saying though is if you don't want to wear a mask, which is fine, then you got to show them, hey, I've been vaccinated. I'm not wearing a mask, but I'm vaccinated, so I'm cool.
You're not cool.
Wrong with that. Why? No,
getting vaccinated doesn't mean you don't have to wear a mask. It's only until we get to like 80-85% vaccinated that we can start going, what? Yeah, we're good.
That's not true though. I just saw a study.
That is true. That's
said that you can't get it or you can't what they call it asymptomatic. You can't asymptomatically give it either. You're good. If you get the vaccine, you're good.
Yeah, that's not what the CDC is saying.
Well, they're being more cautious, but I'm telling you what the studies are saying.
Yeah, and the CDC has released. They said you can, if you're vaccinated in a group of people who are vaccinated, you can gather together in rooms and without masks, and so you can assume that if everybody gets vaccinated, then we can kind of get back to big groups of people.
Yeah.
Hanging out in bars.
I think it's just a matter of weeks before we're all good overall. So another sign that
wait a minute, you had your second shot, didn't you?
Me for this Friday, and so
it's this Friday.
2 days. Okay. 2 days. Another sign that life's getting back to normal. The Sundance Drive-In Theater will be opening. Which I love I love taking kids to drive-in. I love the drive-in. We never make it to the second movie, but it's just the nostalgia of it. The kids like to run around and sit in launch.
Do they still do the speakers in the window?
No, it's all through your radio now.
Remember those good old days?
Is that the last time you went to Chris?
Those 20-pound speakers you had to pull off of the pipe and precariously set in the crease of your window.
Whose radio stays on when your car isn't running?
What do you got to put it in the AC? What year are you living in?
Well, no, it just so you put it in all you're doing then is just draining your own battery.
Chris,
if you put it
what
in the
kind
AC.
of Chris, what kind of car radio do you have that is sucking the complete power out of your battery through a movie?
The same car battery everybody has that if you leave your lights on can drain your battery by the time you get back to your car.
You have a giant boom box in the back.
You never left your lights on your car, walked away, been gone for maybe an hour or so, come back and had to get a jump?
No.
Well, I don't think
not an hour.
AC position, so you listen to your radio when the car's not on. I mean, the radio takes a minimal amount of energy. I don't know what the lights do, but the minimum amount of energy for a car. Come on. What do you do?
What do you got? Like big tower speakers and fucking components? Like, how am I supposed to run my turntable here?
All I'm saying is I'm already paying the drive-through. I shouldn't have to put more wear and tear on my car. Give me the freaking speaker in the window.
But
That's all I'm saying.
That little ass speaker, wouldn't you rather have a sound system that is built like a Bose sound system or whatever's in your car to be able to listen to the movie? Why would you want to listen to that shitty ass speaker that's been there for
because that's the way drive-through is done.
It's not in 2 decades.
He's like, if I give you money, I expect to have somebody whisper in the script in my ear.
I want the actors outside my car just reading.
And another sign that life is returning back to normal. Walleye season is bringing crowds and businesses to the Toledo area. It's one of my favorite things ever. One of my favorite things. What? What's
nothing? Go. The walleye. Go on.
No. I'm talking about the fishermen. No, when you drive over the Maumee Perrysburg Bridge and you look out in the water and they're all in their way.
I think you're talking about hockey.
As far as you can see.
I was like, that was weird for the season too.
Georgia thought I meant that walleye too, but no, I meant walleye season. It means the same thing. Walleye season. I meant walleye season that
fishing,
the actual fish.
Yeah, that's a. Remember last year they closed the river off and like guys were so pissed and they were having to sneak down there because of what was going on. But this year it's back open and you look in the river and you get to see the people. You know the life is normal again when you look down the river and everyone's in waders and.
Do you know that 2020 was was the best year for fish? Like fish were like, man, you notice that a lot of us are just making it through. Like we're like, I've been with Charlie for 6 months. I'm usually never with somebody for 6 months.
Turn around, D.
Oh, I know you. He's
got this look on his face. He's got this look on his face, like
yeah. Yeah,
but it's so true. It's usually I make this swim and I lose so many cousins, but they're all here this year.
Yeah. He's like, everybody made it to the reunion. This is amazing.
All right. The other couple of before I get to some celebrity stuff, I got to do this story. Oh, I have 2 stories to do. 2 more. One of them, a Toledo man indicted for selling fentanyl that caused overdose deaths. What's he wanting, D? What's the matter with Colin? Oh, there's Connor too.
He's mad because anyway, go, please. We'll take care of it.
A Toledo man has been arrested, 46-year-old Gerald Isom, for distributing a fentanyl mixture, and it caused several overdoses. And there were a lot of people online that are saying that he's being that he shouldn't be the one arrested because he didn't force them to take the drugs, which I guess I'm not under. And then one guy said, arresting a drug dealer, gee, I wonder if that slows down drug use. And someone laughed. Ha, that's not. I guess someone needs to explain to me what the thought process is about not holding the drug dealer accountable. Go ahead, D.
What's that? Okay, so
just because there are a lot of people online saying, "Hey, blame the drug user. Why are you blaming the drug dealer? Why are Why are you putting him in jail? Why are you putting him on trial? Why? And I guess I don't understand that thought process. What am I missing?
Yeah, granted, everybody would like to say, addicts should have a bit of personal responsibility in this, but that's the whole point. Like that's counterintuitive to being an addict. If you're an addict, then you really can't control like your behavior because you need that. Now, when you push heroin and you push heroin that has a fentanyl mixture to it, fentanyl kills, right? We know fentanyl, just touching it, inhaling it can kill you. So when you start mixing that shit with heroin, you know that every bag that you hand out is potential death to every customer you have. The shitty thing about heroin dealers is, and this is, I spoke to a heroin dealer, and you know what he said to me, and it was probably like the most disturbing thing besides what a councilman said to me about money being in poverty. There's money to be made in poverty. This heroin dealer said to me, he goes, I don't have to push my product. He goes, all I need to do is have one heroin addict get a hold of me. And then he's going to tell everybody else. And my phone will ring. He doesn't have to do marketing. He doesn't have to stand anywhere. If he has heroin addicts will tell other heroin addicts that he has heroin. And it doesn't matter if it's got fentanyl in it because your body needs it. Heroin is like alcohol. You just can't quit it without some kind of physical ramification. You can die just going cold turkey quitting drinking if you have a drinking problem. Look, it's like Amy Winehouse. You can die if you try to quit cold turkey on heroin. It's crazy.
Well, but they're saying, well, why not arrest the guys in charge at Hostess for you? For you eating a Twinkie and then dying.
I thought that was a bar.
Dying from obesity.
A bartender can get charged if they overserve and the guy goes out and hits somebody.
That's true. That is true. All right, so I have to get to this story, and it's one that's been a lot of people missed it last week because of the holiday, but it's one, as a guy that has daughters in Perrysburg, it's one that I have to bring light to. There's a man in Maumee that was accused of using a hidden camera to record women using the bathroom at his Maumee business, and he was sentenced on Friday. Jason Pardon, Pardon, entered a plea of no contest in
middle name not getting one.
Yeah, right. Jason Pardon entered a plea of no contest in February, was found guilty, facing 5 counts of voyeurism. Pardon was sentenced to 90 days in the Correction Center of Northwest Ohio, with 70 suspended, which means basically he's doing 20 days. The remaining 20 days on April, he will be serving the remaining 20 days on April 23rd. He was placed on 3 years probation. According to police, detectives found cameras in the restrooms at his business, which is Landmark Pools and Spas on Illinois Avenue. They had received tips in June of 2020. Detectives also found recordings of at least 2 young women in the restroom. He had a couple Perrysburg girls working for him, so he put the cameras in so he could watch these girls go to the bathroom. And they found this freaking they found the video footage of him doing this. Now, I don't know, 20 days sentence for fucking watching young girls pee.
He's also got to register. He's also got to register as a sex offender. So he's got to register. I'm not saying 20 days. I'm not even 90 days. I didn't think 90 days was long enough. But
yeah.
But Andrew, let's just. What is his 20 days at CCNO going to look like?
Well,
I mean, once people know, I mean, this made the news. What is his 20 days going to look like?
But it barely made the news. Like someone had to point the story because it was Easter. I think it came out on Friday. There's no one talking about this story. So I don't know. I mean, I know for me it was different. Like it's hard for me to say, D, because when I went to prison, everyone knew my story. Everyone knew who I was. Everyone knew my story. But for the average person, if you walk in, they don't know your story. And if you're only gonna be there 20 days, they may not know.
They know they know sex offenders. When I did my 10 days for my DUI at CCNO, it was I was sitting at a table, didn't know this dude from Adam, and watched him get jumped by 4 fucking people who knew his story. You know, they don't last long, and 20 days in jail as a sex offender, and I'm not going to say this is an adequate punishment, but the punishment is, it's not coming from the state, it's coming from the inmates.
So wait, let me understand this. I'm the only person here that hasn't done time
today.
First of all, bro, it was the DUI. Don't act like they caught me muscling hundreds of pounds of weed across the border.
He hasn't been caught for that yet.
They didn't check the trunk.
That's usually how it happens. I get drunk and then get across the border, and they're like, "Wow, you're hammered," and I'm like, "No need to search the car." I'm gonna need you to tow this car to this address.
I mean, Andrew keeps talking about it like it's doing hard time over here. He's like, it was so hard. The only movie we had was Shawshank Redemption.
I know, and it's true. But this, I don't know. This dude, I mean, why? Who's gonna support that business? Like he should should lose his business. I mean, but
will lose his business.
I hope you're right. I mean,
he will. He won't come out of this hole. He's not going to come out of this and go back to selling pools and spas like nothing happened. And people are going to be like, going to be like, "Hey, remember that time you kind of fucked up and was recording people taking pees?" That's not going to be a thing.
Yeah. I hope you're right, because 20 days just is really a slap on the wrist.
Dude, and imagine what his life is going to look like now when he gets back out, and then letters start being mailed to his neighbors because there's a sex offender who lives in your neighborhood. They will get that notification. And you can literally pull it up on a map and see. Like, I remember the first time we got one of those in the mail, and I was like, "What the fuck?" Like, and this dude was like half a street down from me, you know, to the point where it was like, I need to find out what the fuck happened with this cat. And why is he living in my neighborhood?
Right. All right. It's I don't know. It was to me that needed to be brought up. Are 2 quick things. Kim Kardashian has now joined the $1 billion club, according to Forbes magazine. She is now officially ranks along the ranks of Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and other moguls. She's officially a billionaire. Forbes released its annual World's Billionaire list, and Kim Kardashian is now on that list. And finally, Gal Gadot clashed with Josh Whedon on Justice League as he allegedly threatened her career. New allegations surrounding Josh Whedon's behavior on the reshoots of Justice League came to light, including details about how the director clashed with star Gal Gadot. Justice League star Ray Fisher spoke in length for the first time about his various allegations against Whedon and Warner Brothers. What happened was, it says, what did he tell her? She just wanted to make the character flow from one movie to the next, but he was saying something like, he told her that he's the writer, and she's going to shut up and say the lines, and he can make her look incredibly stupid in this movie. So Gadot said, "I've had my issues with Whedon, and Warner Brothers handled it in a timely manner." So I guess she says that it was taken care of, but he basically told her, "Shut up and act. Don't just do it."
Yeah, you made a horrible movie better by adding 2 more fucking hours to it. Like, holy shit. And first of all, let's be real. Wonder Woman is the only franchise in DC in the DC movie franchise that is worth a shit. The second one sucked ass, but I mean, as far as breakout movies go, Wonder Woman is their jewel, and they're not going to let Josh Whedon threaten her.
You know what surprises me is that Universal, because I know that like you said, the Marvel franchise, there's the, I mean, you're one of those nerds, D. What's the other one? There's another one that they make a billion movies of. Well, there's the Star Wars franchise, there's the but there's am I missing
franchise?
What's the one with Spider-Man and all those? That's DC Comics. Marvel.
No, that's Marvel Universe.
MCU.
But my question is, why hasn't Universal, who owns all the monster rights, why have they not started their franchises? I heard there was talk they were going to and never did. Like they have like the Mummy, they have Frankenstein, they have Dracula, all these cool characters that they own, Universal, but they haven't started like this franchise thing but there was talk they were going to. But I know you
does Universal own.
I just say you would get into those like Dracula, Frankenstein, the Mummy.
Yeah, but there's already a million movies about literally all of those.
Yeah, but how many times they rebooted Superman? How many times they rebooted Spider-Man? What do you mean? That's got nothing to do with it anymore. If you've got a good story to tell and you've got good characters that have life in this country, they should reboot the monsters movies that Universal has, and I think those would be fun. The problem is these stupid because they play to assholes like you guys, is they make them all like,
no, they don't,
so big, like they want to make them, they need to make them normal so we can buy in, like in the old days, more normal, like movies, monsters could walk the earth. Well, now they're flying and there's big asteroids and all this dumb bullshit. You know what I mean? It's like, make them realistic.
What monster movie are you watching?
What do you mean? Go ahead.
Like I will say, like, it is the exact opposite of what you said.
What in what way?
It is the exact. Do not. They specifically, Marvel, DC, all these people do not make movies for the fans, because if the fans got their way, things would line up a little bit more along comic book storylines than they do in some of these movies. They make these movies for average people who have never picked up a comic book. You want to talk about people who are dissatisfied with some of these superhero and monster movies? Talk to the people who dress up and show up in line, like Wolverine or Godzilla, and then you're like, "Hey, what'd you think?" And they're like, "That's not how the real lizard would act." And you're like, first of all, you used the word real. So, you know, like we get caught up in like the comic book storylines. They don't want us at the movies. We're going to come anyway.
I know.
They want you guys.
They want to expand.
Yeah.
Because you guys are going to come no matter what, just because the name says Spider-Man or whatever.
Right? Yeah. And we're going to be mad when we get done watching it. But then we're going to come back to the next Spider-Man movie hoping it was better.
Josh and Georgia are fighting online. Josh Mosher, he says, I mean, they are rebooting Batman with the Sparkle Vampire guy after just rebooting Batman with Affleck. And then Georgia says, Robert Pattinson's going to be a good Batman. Shut up, Josh.
I stand with Josh.
He's not going to be a good Batman.
Chuck Overton says Universal tried to make Monster.
He wasn't even a good vampire.
Chuck Overton said Universal tried to make Monster Universe. The Mummy with Tom Cruise bombed. But
let me just tell you real quick. Hey, if you want good like television advice, follow Chuck. Chuck will put you there. Chuck has been like, he was hit or miss with one thing that like he said was cool that I watched because he said it was cool and I was not fucking happy. But he is usually on point with his television and movie suggestions.
All right. So before we get into WTF News, this portion of the show brought to you in part by our friends at Lawn Greetings of Toledo. If you need a themed lawn greetings for a birthday, for anniversary, for a divorce, he did lawn.
If you hear a rustling outside your window, don't grab the shotgun. That's just a lawn greeting.
Yeah, he's just put. The cool thing is, yeah, like you said, Chris. He, if let's say you get, hey, my daughter's having a birthday. I need you to put a lawn greeting in the lawn, which are basically he does these heavy duty wooden letters. So he'll put them in the yard. So in the middle of the night, so when you wake up, there's your lawn greeting, and then everyone in the neighborhood sees it. It's really cool. It's kind of it's better than a card. So if you go to LAGRTO Lawn Greetings Toledo LAGRTO.com to order yours, and it stays up for 24 hours. It goes there at night, and then he'll pull it out the next night. So all day long, whether it's a birthday or anniversary or graduation's big one coming up. Graduation parties are back. So go see Lawn Greetings of Toledo. Also DMX Lawn and Landscape. They're gonna want to mow your lawn up in here, up in here.
Yeah. You need to record Sugar. She's better at it.
I know. That's Sugar's thing. But it's time to get your lawn. Get a lawn. If you're not happy with your lawn guy as you're getting set for the season, sign. They have a couple spots left. DMX Lawn and Landscape. Make sure you get your lawn and landscaping needs done there. All right, Chris Tiefel has Ebenezer Bushrod, and let's see. It's time for the WTF news.
So at the end of last month, there was a woman attending her son's wedding in China. And she's sitting there, and she sees the bride, and she notices a birthmark on the bride's hand, and it kind of sparkles a little memory in her. And so she decides to approach the bride's parents, and she's like, hey, just wild question. Is by chance your daughter adopted like maybe 20 years ago around there? And they're like, that's a family secret. We haven't ever told anyone. We found her on the side of the road and we raised her as our own. And she's like, oh,
what?
And it turns out,
wait, did she come from an egg that was out of space that they found on that broke on the side of the road?
Baby. It was a baby on the side of the road.
But did it land in an egg on Earth and then open up?
Yeah, Georgia, really? I'm in the middle of telling the darn thing. Spoiler much?
We kind of figured out where that was going, Chris. It's not a spoiler.
It turns out it ended up being the bride ended up being the groom's mother's long lost daughter. She had gone missing 20 years before. She had spent missing. They found her on the street as a baby, and she went missing. What did the baby wander off in a basket? Well, I mean, it's China with their 1-2 child policy, and boys are supreme. Yeah. So I don't know. Can you imagine? I mean, honestly, think about this. There's 1 billion people in China, right? 1 billion, right? 1 billion people. What's the likelihood that your son and your daughter, who you lost, hook up? There's more.
There's more? Okay, go ahead.
So it all comes out. The bride is super happy to find her biological mother finally, and it's all teary-eyed and wonderful. And then it hits everybody. I'm about to marry my older brother.
What?
And so then there's the discussion of how do I get out of this thing without embarrassing everybody? And but then the mother reveals
because they're trying to keep it secret. And now she's about so either the secret comes out or she marries her brother.
Yeah. So then the mother reveals it's okay. They're not biologically brother and sister. When she couldn't find her daughter, she adopted her son to fill the void in her life of having a missing child. So they're not actually biologically brother and sister. They're just step siblings. So she gave her blessing to go ahead, and the bride's parents gave their blessing, and they went through with the wedding.
Oh, there you go. Georgia. Oh, dear God. Good time.
I'm still trying to figure out how they just found a baby on the street and raised it as its own.
I'm trying to figure out how the mother never met the bride before. Like she didn't notice the birthmark before.
But don't they have Facebook in China as well? It's like, hey, like there's a lost pet, you post about it. Like, how do you not be like, hey, found a lost baby?
20 years ago.
I'm just saying, like, you still got to go and get paperwork done. They just don't let your kid go to school without like a birth certificate or anything. what do? Do you show up at a government agency and go, look what I found on the sidewalk? And they're like, man, you're the fourth one today. Like, let's get this paperwork started.
Well, and then you bring in the law book and you have the highlighted finders keepers.
Right, yeah.
Look,
like, do you take it to the cops like people do when they find money and they're like, hey, has anybody claimed the baby yet? And they're like, no, it's been sitting here for 5 months.
I'd imagine
baby's gonna live here.
I'd imagine the baby was still newborn. I'd imagine the baby was still newborn a month enough that the mother could have claimed that she gave birth at home.
I guess.
Really,
but you have to have paperwork.
You still got to have paperwork.
Not if you birth. Not if you give birth. That's what I'm saying. You give birth at home, then you get the paperwork. You don't do the paperwork.
Bring a baby in, really, because that's not the hustle. That is not the hustle.
Here.
I don't think that's true, bro. I don't think that you. I don't think
you get to walk in and bring a baby.
I don't think you can just walk in with a baby and say, "Hey, birth this at home. Can you give me some paperwork?" I don't think it works.
Literally, women give birth at home, then they go get the birth certificate. It's not like they have the birth certificate before they gave birth.
I think they have to sign up for some sort of program. You can't just walk in with a baby. You gave birth to it, and then it's your baby. I don't think it works like that.
Yeah, I think it works exactly like that.
It does not work like that, Chris.
I think you have to. I think you have to inform someone ahead of time that you are pregnant and you're going to give birth at home.
We need someone with a vagina to settle this debate.
Exactly. Three dudes. We just don't know. Can he just walk in with a baby? Can he not just walk in with a baby? I don't know.
That is the most man ass thought I have ever heard, and I have a lot of man ass thoughts, but that was the most manest thought I have ever. Well, you could just walk. You could just say you gave birth to the baby and just walk it in and get all the paperwork.
Because I've seen enough Lifetime movies on in the background that Colleen is watching. Where people steal babies, I don't think that they just walk in, no questions asked, and can just get paperwork and say that they had that baby. I just don't.
I got a clear title on this baby. Why don't you? I'm gonna need new plates and
what's the report
the baby is fully insured.
What's the report you look up for the with the Fox the Carfax?
Yeah, baby
facts. Baby facts. I want to make sure this has not been an accident. Has a clear title,
and it's not somebody else's.
George's dad says maybe you have to. I think you have to at least present the placenta. You have to be like, here's the placenta, here's the baby. I had this.
Yeah. You just gotta walk into the hospital, show them your baby, and then just lift up your skirt and go, look at it. Look, it's all blown out.
Oh,
this is obviously my baby.
I apologize for Demetrius.
All right, so out in Fresno, California, minor league baseball games, like the whole little contest and things like that, keep the fans involved and everything. Here at Mud Hens, they do those little mascot races and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, a minor league team out in Fresno held a Taco Bell eating contest. Where it was how many tacos you can eat in the limited amount of time, and the winner, I guess, would get diarrhea. And so they but an 18-year-old Marshall Hutchings is suing the organizers of the event after his father choked to death while eating the tacos because no one warned him of the dangers.
But he won
involved
the free
in the eating contest.
But he got the free t-shirt.
And that's what they buried him in.
The free Taco Bell t-shirt.
But nobody had warned him about the dangers of the eating contest. The lawyer is quoted as saying that professionals in these competitive eating sports train their entire lives to condition their bodies to handle this. That's not true in amateur events such as this, and there were no disclaimers or anything beforehand.
Well, there you go. It's funny.
No word yet on the amount looked for.
It's funny. There's one of those minor league contests. I went to a game because I've been a lifelong Dodger fan, and the one of the minor league Dodger teams is in San Antonio, and I have family there. So one of the things we did that was fun, we went to a San Antonio game, and it was tackle. They had one of those things called Tackle the Taco, where the taco would start at second base, and you would be
the worst porn ever.
You'd be the taco would be at second base. You're at home plate, right? And then the taco would go, and you had to get to the taco before it reached home plate. And so basically, you're running around the bases, and then you're at full speed to just run and jump on top of the taco and just tackle him. And I don't know what intern was in the taco costume, but it sucked for him and then he wasn't allowed to run fast. He's kind of just tacoing. He's the way a taco would run.
Tacoing.
Blah, 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 blah. Tacoing. And just the fan then would just run and just full speed, just bam, jump on top of the taco and knock him on the floor. And then you'd win tacos or something like that. But I don't know if this was a long time ago. I don't think you could do that now.
The sexual overtones and just the game alone. I mean, honestly, look, you put a taco on second base. What do they call it when guys are dating and they get to touch a booby? They make it to first base and then they go to second base, and it's all to chase the taco. Right?
The taco's a home run.
Right? The taco's a home run. You got to get it before it gets to the home run plate, right?
Yeah. So, speaking of pregnancy, Melissa Surchkoff of Massachusetts started having stomach pains, and she ended up thinking maybe it was kidney stones or something, and she couldn't get comfortable, and the pain just kept getting worse, and the only place that she could have any solace was while she was sitting on the toilet. And but things just started getting worse and worse and worse, and suddenly there was a release. She thought she had lost an organ or something. Turns out she had a toilet baby. She had a 9-month term baby right there in the toilet. She didn't know she was pregnant because she barely even showed anything. She just thought she got a little chubby.
So all she had to do was take that baby in and just get some paperwork, and she's all good, right?
I mean, that's apparently the way that it works, because she's there with her baby in the hospital. I mean, they wouldn't let her keep it if it wasn't hers.
All right, thank you.
Last but not least, an Alberta couple.
Your dad wants to know how'd she get a birth certificate, Chris?
Well, she showed up at the hospital. She's like, "This baby's mine.
Baby's mine.
My baby.
All right,
my baby." All right, so
baby.
Stray. So a couple in Alberta, some stray ash from their boiler ended up starting a fire and then igniting their propane tank on their property. Firefighters showed up. It was the local crew, that's a volunteer firefighter crew, and they were going into the night trying to put the fire out. The propane tank was still burning, and it got to the point where the fire chief came up to the couple and said, "Well, things are starting to get really expensive. You should probably check the limits on your insurance. You want us to keep going?" Because it turns out, and the couple didn't know until they were actually, watching their home burn down, that apparently there are in Alberta, you pay property tax, and it pays to maintain the fire department. They have the building and they have training and things like that. But actual fires, they expect the property owner to pay a portion of the costs for putting out the fire. And in this couple's case, they only had a $10,000 limit for fire with their insurance, and the bill racked up over $65,000. They ended up sending the firefighters home and staying up themselves, waiting until the fire died down a bit to where they could use a hose to put out the fire in the propane tank themselves.
At that point, your house is done. You don't when you're like, "Hey, let's wait for it to burn itself out before we set it, put it out."
Nope.
But that's just not in Alberta, Bubba. That's not. You check your homeowner's insurance policies. It's got fire service coverage for fire departments that come out and all that shit.
I thought that was taxes. You paid with your taxes. You shouldn't get a bill.
There's stuff in your homeowner's insurance policy and that does cover fire services.
Wow. And to top it all off, it was a negative 25 degrees Celsius morning by the time they were out there with the hose, and so the hose kept freezing. So it took them a little longer than it should have on there. But yeah, so apparently, if you live in a rural area, watch out. You might have to pay for that fire service or send them home.
All right, that is
and Georgia, no, it's not on renter's insurance. Renter's insurance just covers personal property and liability. You don't own the building, so it's the person who owns the building's responsibility to cover the building part of the insurance.
All right, there it is. WTF News with Ebenezer Bushrod, brought to you in part by Teebs of Adrian, Teebs.green. Go see them and get your cannabis on. All right, thank you, Chris Tiefel, Demetrius Nicodemus, Georgia, Tiefel, I'm Andrew Z. Thank you guys so much. You have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Come on!